Good morning, students. I believe that you all are attending classes regularly and doing your assignments given by the teachers time to time. You know well that I will go through your homework copy when the school will reopen. So I believe that you are doing homework given. So please start doing and keep on doing regularly from NCERT book. In the first lecture of solid state, we have discussed already classification of solid on the basis of nature of different pattern of arrangement of internal particles. Today we are going to start the next classification, the second classification of crystalline solids on the basis of interparticle bonding and nature of attractive forces. So on the basis of nature of attractive forces operating between constituent particles, there are four types of solids. Number one is molecular solids, whose constituents are molecules. These molecules may be non-polar or polar. If they are non-polar, then solids will be non-polar molecular solids. In such kind of solids, the dipole moment will be zero. Examples are CO2, that is carbon dioxide, iodine, carbon tetrachloride, etc. There we see the nature of intermolecular force is dispersion force or London dispersion force. Such kind of solids are very soft, insulating, and very low melting. If the constituent particles are polar, then in that case, the nature of intermolecular forces will be dipole-dipole interaction. Examples are ice, that is H2O, sulfur dioxide, HCl, etc. Such kind of solids are also soft, insulating, and low melting. In some cases, we see that in molecular solids, the intermolecular force of attraction is hydrogen bonding. Examples are ice, that is H2O, solid hydrogen fluoride, that is HF, solid ammonia, that is NH3. Such kind of molecular solids are hard but insulating as usual and low melting. The next type of crystalline solid is ionic solids, whose constituent particles are ions, and nature of intermolecular force of attraction, or you can say intermolecular force of attraction, is Coulombic force of attraction, that is electrostatic force of attraction, which binds opposite ions together in the solid given. Well-known examples are sodium chloride, magnesium oxide, zinc sulfide, calcium fluoride, etc. In such kind of solid, the number of ions surround a particular ion of opposite charge. That is known as coordination number. As for example, in NaCl, each sodium cation is surrounded by 6 chloride ions. So coordination number of sodium ion is 6. Similarly, each Cl minus ion is surrounded by 6 Na plus ions. So again, coordination number of an ion, that is Cl minus ion, is 6. The nature of solid is hard but brittle, and the most important character of such type of solid is They are insulators in solid state, but conducting in molten state. This is highly important for your board exam for 1 mark question. An answer is very easy. We have learnt about this in standard 11. Even though I am explaining why it happens, they are insulating in solid state because they are strongly held with each other due to strong electrostatic force of attraction operating amongst oppositely charged cations and anions. But as we put them in solvent, the ions start moving, and when they move, they can conduct electricity. So because of movement of ions in suitable solvent, they start conducting electricity. Their melting point is high. Now the third type of solid is metallic solid, whose constituent particles are positive ions in a sea of delocalized electrons. That is a sea of electrons. And nature of force of attraction is metallic bonding. Examples are iron, copper, silver, magnesium, etc. Many more metals you know well. Characters are they are very hard. You know well that metals are malleable, metals are ductile. The meaning of malleability, you know, you have learnt in lower standard. Malleability means when they are beaten, they can be converted into shapes easily. Ductility means the metal can be drawn into wires. The second important character of such kind of solid is they are good conductors of electricity and heat in solid state as well as in molten state. They are good conductor of heat and electricity because of presence of mobile ion, electrons, free electrons. They are very high melting. And the last kind of solid is covalent solid or network solid. The constituent particles are atoms and nature of force is covalent bonding. Examples are silicon dioxide, silicon carbide, diamond, graphite, aluminum nitride, etc. Silicon dioxide, that is quartz, silicon carbide, diamond, they all are very hard. Rather, you know that diamond is the hardest substance known in the world because of network of covalent bonding. You know well that each carbon atom in diamond is surrounded by 4 another carbon atoms tetrahedrally. So they are very hard in nature, they are insulating, they are very high melting, but one exception is there, graphite is soft and good conductor of electricity. Why graphite is good conducting? The very simple answer is it happens only because of presence of one free electron with each carbon atom. So due to presence of these free electrons, they are highly conducting of electricity. So this is all about your types of a crystalline solid on the basis of nature of intermolecular forces of attraction. Dear students, there are some questions given on page number 6. So this is your assignment. You please keep on doing at home. Question number, I will discuss 1 or 2 questions. Question number 1.7, solid A is very hard, electrical insulator in solid as well as in molten state and melts at extremely high temperature. What type of solid is it? Very hard and electrical insulator. Electrical insulator, you know well that such kind of solids are covalent solids which do not conduct electricity, as I have already explained in the above explanation. The next question is 1.8. Ionic solids conduct electricity in molten state but not in solid state. I have already explained right now. So again, I am giving the answer of this question. In solid state, ions are strongly held with each other due to a strong electrostatic force of attraction. Because of that, they don't conduct electricity. But as we put them into a suitable solvent, the ions become free and start moving. So because of that, or these moving ions, they conduct electricity. So these all are important questions, and I believe that you will keep many more questions at home. Thank you.